Hi everyone, this is Sunette, and in this video we are continuing with the word decision, loving the word decision. Right, so now in the previous video, kind of got a feel for the difference between choice and decisions, also bringing in how speaking and sounding the word will assist and support, just, kind of getting to know the difference in sound, how some words, not all of them, that's why I will be very specific in the videos to emphasize, what words you can speak and utilize sound within when it comes to more physically showing, how a word can assist and support in what dimension of your process, whether in your inner process or your physical process, like the words choice and decision, right? Now, an interesting question here is, many people have asked throughout the years in many different ways, don't we choose to have the thoughts we have in the first place? Don't we already from the get-go choose our emotional states, what goes on in our minds, our behaviors, our addictions, our habits? Aren't we, isn't it existing because we're choosing it on some level? But see, that's already kind of a contradictory question, because if they say that it's a choice made on some level, it means that, you are choosing all these things on some level that you're not even aware of. It's completely unconscious. That's kind of asleep. So is that really choice, is the question? Or is it a predetermined choice that you made way back then in the past? Look, there are many dimensions of choice that we can open up in terms of having a look at postulating. Can have a look at opinions, views, perspectives, knowledge, information, history, movies, scripts, scrolls. We can go through all of existence, opening up the question, what is choice? Now, for those who are interested, of course, by all means, do that. But for these videos in Soul, I say, fact is, I know the moment my thoughts come up, my emotions come up, I didn't consciously choose for them to be there. Now, I can make a whole big story out of it, for sure. But I choose not to. I know my thoughts are there, that's a fact. My emotions are coming up, that's a fact, it's here. How I choose and decide to look at who I am in those moments is taking control of who I am, meaning being my directive principle, practicing, empowering myself in redefining the word choice and decision for me to change who I am in real moments. I want to work with what is here. I want to work with what is real. I want to work with what is tangible and touchable for me inside myself that I see. Anything else in that very moment doesn't matter. What matters is who I am in matter in that moment. And our thoughts and our emotions, even though they're dimensional inside of ourselves, because they're not really physical, it's not like we can extract our thoughts and see them as like little mini organs. Therefore, they're dimensional, they're simulations, but they're in this very physical moment in me, inside of me, affecting me. So I decide to choose that when those thoughts and emotions suddenly, unexpectedly come up and appear in me, that's not the me I want to be in that moment. I can be more, I can be better, I can change. And it's almost like seeing those thoughts and emotions and parts of you and looking at it in a way of, maybe it's actually a deep part of me challenging me and showing, okay, show me what you got, girl. This is what's coming up. These are parts of you. How can you change them into something more, better, expressive, supportive, not only for you, but for others in your life as well? How would you be a living, leading example of this? Show me. So what's helped me in moments in having some fun with this process is seeing it as a constructive, creative challenge, a real-time living simulation where these parts of me are coming up. Sometimes it takes days, sometimes it's a puzzle and it takes me weeks. But I know one thing, I'm going to figure it out. I want to understand these parts of me that's coming up. I'm going to understand why they are so intense sometimes, why it sometimes feels like my emotions is just, you know how our emotions can sometimes make us feel like, who am I right now? You know, why am I doing this? And we kind of go into that state of questioning the whole time. Why? And how is this possible? This isn't me. You know, we kind of fight with the part of ourselves. And eventually you go, well, this me is here. It's not going away with me just questioning it or trying to suppress it or think it away or, you know, distract ourselves from it. It's here. So eventually I'm like, okay, I accept this is a part of me. It's not going away any other way. Bring on the challenge, breathe, make my choice, change in my living. And every time it comes up, I push and do the best I can to change. Not always good, especially when it's the tough ones, you know, where the thoughts are really overwhelming and intense, as well as the emotions. And it's almost been a personality you've become accustomed to for many years. It takes time to change, but, you know, like my pattern was isolation. That was one of the hardest ones I also had to change for years. And eventually changing that, the only way that worked best for me was in the moments that I chose and decided to, and started strengthening my relationship between choice and decision. And now I have become a much more outgoing, expressive, meeting new people type of individual, where I almost yearn for that reaching out, you know, communicating with others, getting to know them. Who are you? What's your history? What defined you? And not only that, how can who I am assist and support who you are? How can we as equals, for a moment, cross paths that can be in an assisting and supportive way? Now, that's also a fascinating way to have a look at all our relationships on this earth in how we mainly look at others in either judgmental, competitive, comparative, reactional ways. But how would it be different where we don't so much, we recognize and acknowledge that there is people in our environment, but not so much have thoughts about them as much as wondering, you know, what type of connection would I have with that person if I'd actually had a moment to just sit down with them and talk? And instead of creating this momentary reactional signature of separation inside myself, I look at how who I am could have assisted and supported them, what I could have possibly learned from them, who they are. What would our unified moment have brought for the both of us? But we very seldom look at something like that on this earth. We think it impossible to even exist, but the only reason why it seemed to be impossible is because we haven't yet created it. But if we can think it, as they say, it can be done. So, even in that, there's a choice and a decision, is there not? You can either choose to always just react to everyone, or you can choose to change that and then decide on living that choice in your reality. Okay, everyone, for this video, lastly, to take with you is, I'm nothing against anyone. If you're very curious about choice and all its multi-dimensions, please do research, do investigations, understand more about it. Become an aficionado on choice and decisions in existence. But when it comes to the physical, I can tell you one thing. The only thing that matters in this world is who you are in thought, word, and deed in real moments, and where your choices within and your decision actions without is going to take you as a person in who you are, in your nature and presence, not only for yourself, but for others as well. I mean, again, we may become intellectuals on choice, but what will it bring to actually changing the reality of our actual real life experience that is visible, that is physical, tangible and touchable? So change is not only about showing other people, it is about showing yourself who you are, proving it in a way where you see it, where it's visible for you. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for listening and joining in this process of choice and decisions. And we'll continue more as the process unfolds. But this is a nice initial bridge support in assisting and supporting your process within and without, and understanding the difference between those two realities. All right. Thank you very much, and see you in videos to come.